Alright, full disclosure. I am not a smart man, but I know when an image just hits me, you know? When it gets stuck in my head like a song. When it speaks to me on a level that I don't really understand, but nonetheless love. This is a Claude Monet painting named Sunrise. I love it. I look at it often. But honestly, that's pretty gay. This is not an art channel. This is a gamer channel. I don't analyze art. I cry about how oppressed gamers are while simultaneously telling my audience of impressionable children that all women are whores. Especially the ones that won't sleep with me. Which is, all of them. So, wait, let me check my phone. I don't know if she texted back. Yeah, it's all of them. But these striking images that get stuck in my head, they aren't limited to paintings. Games can offer such striking images as well. As a matter of fact, games have a distinct advantage in this regard. Games can make these moments feel personal in a way that other art forms just can't compete with. Although, if you wouldn't mind humoring me, I'd like to show you one more painting that makes me feel things that I can't quite explain. It's a DJ Peach Cobbler original. I call it Sweet Little Eyes.
You like it? It's very generous.
Real quick, I'd like to tell you my process when making videos. I play a game, start thinking about shit, start writing about the shit I was thinking about, then I get the gameplay, edit it, post the video, and move on from the game. In that order. Every time so far. But something funny happened with my Fallout 76 video. I didn't move on. I'm still playing it. I'm playing it a lot. I'm level 32 now. Just fought the Mothman for the first time. I'm having a good time, to be honest. My complaints about the performance affecting the core gameplay loop were, and still are, accurate. But my RTX 2080 Ti just came in. Oh shit, my parents watch my videos. Don't look up how much it costs. I'm saving for an emergency. That's right, saving every penny, and I'm actually very responsible, and was hoping you could mail me a check for exactly $1,200 as soon as you can. Love you, thanks. But that new graphics card. Surely, even the mess of ones and zeros that is Fallout 76 would run like a dream on that card. No, fuck no, it's the same shit, different card. But that hasn't stopped me from playing this game. And I know why. I didn't recognize it, or at least recognize the extent of it when making my last video. Perhaps it was a subconscious thing. Maybe out of fear of the mob of angry gamers that awaited me if I spoke the truth. The backlash I'd receive from my dozens of subscribers who obviously hang on my every word. But I'm ready to tell the truth now. Fallout 76 has, 100%, no doubt, the best open world I've seen in any game.
You're ugly, you're disgusting, I'm gonna kill you, give me $200.
I know that's a bold claim, but hear me out. I mean, this game's poor performance definitely affects my enjoyment of it. Is Fallout 76 the prettiest game out there? Not by a long shot. But pretty screenshots don't make for an interesting world. I feel like Rockstar games are a good example of this. Let's take Red Dead Redemption 2. That game is, in my completely unprofessional opinion as a nobody that makes internet videos, probably the most technically impressive game ever made. The horse is shit. 10 out of 10, I mean, come on. I played it on console when it first came out and enjoyed it. I even bought it again when it came out on PC, but I haven't put more than 6 hours into it on PC. Every month or so, I launch it, look at it for a second, and think, yup, it's still pretty. And just sort of close it. Now that I've seen the end of Arthur's story, which was touching and in my opinion the strongest part of the game by far, I don't really feel compelled to return to it. The world was beautiful and the art direction was strong, but it didn't resonate with me. The world felt too grounded. Most of the map just looks like where I'm from, which is impressive on a technical level, but lacks any emotional punch. Now, I know how odd that sounds. A game world that makes you feel emotions by just existing in it is a strange idea, but something I know that every gamer has experienced, and this is where Bethesda shines. This is why, despite all their bullshit, they're still the top dogs, in my opinion, when it comes to art design. Every Bethesda game has a feel, an identity that it portrays not through gameplay so much as through the mere look of the game. The dilapidated capital wasteland, the snowy peaks of Skyrim, the narrow alleys and hollow shells of buildings that pepper the Commonwealth. Bethesda excels at crafting places that are as iconic as they are fun to explore. Except for Oblivion, don't fucking at me. Its game world is just some green hills with trees copy and pasted everywhere. It's about as fun to explore as the Denny's Hobbit promotional menu, because they're both just shallow recreations of Middle-earth and we all know it. Wait, pumpkin pancakes? That doesn't sound bad, actually. I'll take the Denny's Hobbit menu over Oblivion any day. At least the waiters there don't stare into my fucking soul as I order.
I love dogs. Doesn't everyone? Bye.
Alright, well, that's done. What's next? Oh, fuck. Alright, well, to do that, we're gonna have to go back. To a time before Todd's sweet little lies. We gotta go back to Interplay and the origins of Fallout. I've tried playing the first Fallout before. I think I lasted about 10 minutes. It's not my thing. I'm not an RPG guy. But the art design that Interplay created for Fallout was, and still is, iconic. The retro-futurist art style is pretty common in video games, probably because of Fallout's success. But there's a secret sauce to Fallout's world that no other game has come close to matching for me. It's not the 1950s vision of the future, and it's not the nuclear hellscape. It's these two things combined that pack an emotional punch that the generic open worlds that Ubisoft shits out every other week can't even come close to matching.
All of this takes place in the largest action-adventure open world Ubisoft has ever done. Now, in the gameplay we're about to show you,
every game is open world now, but none of them really stick with me. If you showed me a screenshot from any area of a Far Cry game, or fucking Mass Effect Andromeda, or even The Witcher 3, I could not tell you where the fuck it was taken. Which is fine, I guess. I just feel like the games didn't really benefit from being open world. But all those games have something to offer other than their open worlds. Like nudity. Except for Mass Effect Andromeda. But they don't need open worlds. I feel like if these games were level-based, I honestly would have enjoyed them more. A game's map can be more than just the place in which you shoot generic enemies. It can be a character. A game's world can create emotions in the player merely by telling a story through its design. Most games don't bother. Honestly, I've been racking my brain for so long trying to think of a non-Bethesda open-world game that makes the player actually feel something, other than boredom or irritation at the prospect of having to cross the whole damn thing to get to the next mission. And I have a game, but it's not open world. The world of Dark Souls 3 tells a story. Just by exploring it, damn, just by looking at this footage, you can see that it's sick. This is a world that has a character, tells a story, and makes the player feel something. As you wander through this hollow shell of a world, you feel sadness not only based on the wretched state it's in, but a powerful sense of loss as you see glimpses of the numerous kingdoms that used to be here. This place isn't just awful. You get the impression that at one point, it was truly great. Sound familiar? I won't lie to you. I'm a bit of a softie. You put a faded billboard with a smiling family on it that says something like, "We sure love being alive," over a fucking hellish nightmare world, it'll tug at my peachy little heartstrings. Bethesda didn't create this aesthetic. They didn't come up with a smiling vault boy selling you a place in a subterranean nightmare factory. You suck! Cheerful robots waiting to serve customers that never come, or sleek futuristic cars, sitting on the road, rusting away in the sun. These striking images came from the people at Interplay way back in 1997. It's a haunting image, one that gets stuck in your head, like I said in the intro, much like a song. Much like this song.
Almost heaven, West Virginia.
This cover of Country Roads was used heavily in the marketing for 3 reasons. The first being that it fucking slaps. The second being that it slaps so hard it got people to ignore the huge red flag surrounding the game before they bought it. And the third being that it perfectly encapsulates the feel of this game world. I've played a million games with beautiful game worlds. Red Dead Redemption 2, The Witcher 3, hell, pretty much any Ubisoft game. We've gotten to the point where beauty is cheap. Beauty, really, is the sort of thing that hits hard but fades fast. But if you mix a healthy dose of tragedy in with that beauty...
Baby, you got a stew going.
Hearing John Denver's lyrics about the beauty of West Virginia as you traverse the wasteland always gets me, because this world is beautiful, but is also about as far from almost heaven as you can possibly get. Shit, one of the lines in the song, "The radio reminds me of my home far away," feels like it could have been written about Fallout itself. That's all the radio does in these games. You listen to upbeat 50s pop about spurs that jingle jangle jingle while you fight off irradiated abominations in a place that, at least on the surface, looks to have been a utopia before the bombs fell. But every Bethesda Fallout game has this. What's so special about 76 that makes it, in my opinion, superior? Well, Fallout 3 still has this contrast between the pre-war splendor and the post-war ruins, but it was, much like the color palette itself, muted. You could see this once great civilization underneath the radioactive dust, but it was so faded that it was usually hard to make out. It was there, definitely, but I think it's fair to say it was a backdrop to this world as opposed to a major feature of it. In Fallout 4, they got closer. So close, I could almost taste it. But there was a problem. One big issue that kept this wasteland from being as tragically beautiful as it could have been. It was crowded. A settler here, a settler there, a settler everywhere. I seriously would see more people in the Commonwealth than I see at an average restaurant nowadays. Which must mean Bethesda fucked up. There should be plenty of people eating out right now. I see no reason why they wouldn't be there. Fallout 4 pulled its emotional punches. The Commonwealth didn't feel like a devastating example of both the worst and best of what mankind is able to achieve. It felt like a damn amusement park. So, Fallout 76. It was lambasted for its decision to not have human NPCs, and despite the fact that I'm clearly getting ready to actually say that was a good thing, I think it's safe to say that this design decision was made to cut costs and development time. But here's the thing, kids. I do not think it was a good decision to have 0 human NPCs. For example, if I remember correctly, the main radio station used to just play music, but now has a DJ. I honestly don't even know her name, I don't think she ever says it, but her commentary adds a lot to the sadness in the wasteland. Having a few people here and there is the perfect mayonnaise for the shit sandwich that is this depressing game world. Seeing and hearing people occasionally makes you all the more lonely when they're not there, which is often. And the quests also take full advantage of this atmosphere. Fallout 76 was criticized heavily for its repetitive quests when it came out. But one thing they do well is highlight the atmosphere of the world. Let me explain. Most of the quests are basically just, there's a holotape over there, go get it. And you get it, play it, and it's something like, "Oh boy, I sure do love living in this, the year 2077. It sure would suck if there was a nuclear holocaust and I was turned into a nightmarish ghoul." And then you're told to find another tape and do the same thing. I am ghoul now. Is it cheap? Yes. Is it easy? Yes. Is it effective? Hell yes. My favorite quest was the Overseer's journals. It's just 7 tapes that the Overseer recorded as she wandered through the various places she used to go before the bombs fell. And it's haunting.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. I'm home. I'm sorry it's been so long, but I couldn't get away. I know neither of you is around to hear this, but I miss you. I miss watching Dad grade papers on the living room table. I miss the 3 of us huddled around the radio, listening to the Silver Shroud. Dad, you were right about what living underground would really be like. 25 years locked in with the same people was a challenge. But watching them pair up, get married, have children, well, I think I got to know a little bit of what you and Mom were always telling me.
I think this sort of thing is why I still play this game. This silent tragedy that permeates the setting. It sticks with me, and to be honest, I'll probably still think about it long after I stop playing. There's this quote from my favorite book that pops up in my mind often while wandering through Appalachia. A wasteland that exists in the shadow of a once great world that was much like our own. A world that serves as a reminder of how temporary happiness is. Of how short-lived this world that we've built is, and how easily it can all disappear. And I asked myself about the present. How wide it was. How deep it was. How how much was mine to keep.
Country roads, all my memories gather round her. Miner's lady, stranger to blue water, dark and dusty, painted on the sky. Misty taste of moonshine, teardrops in my eyes.